do not simply darken the windows or quiet the streets or fold the day into sleep. Some nights come softly, carrying something older than memory. They come with the smell of wet earth, with the low whisper of rain along the roof, with the silver trembling of water on the glass. They come with a feeling you cannot quite name, but somehow your heart recognizes it before your mind does. Tonight is one of those nights. Outside, the rain is falling gently, not fiercely, not loudly, just enough to make the world feel slower, just enough to blur the streetlights into golden pools and make every window shine like a small, sleepy lantern. Just enough to remind you of another time, long ago, when life was smaller, warmer, and held together by simple things. A low roof, a wooden door, a kitchen light, a mother's voice calling from another room. Perhaps you remember it, perhaps not with perfect detail, but with feeling. The way childhood returns is never exact. It does not come back like a photograph, clear at the edges. It comes back like the scent of rain on old stone, like the feeling of wool against your cheek, like the sound of your mother moving quietly in the kitchen while you sat somewhere nearby, believing without question that nothing bad could happen as long as she was there. You may not remember the date. You may not remember what year it was. You may not remember the color of every wall, or the shape of every chair, or the words spoken that evening. But you remember the warmth. You remember the rain. And maybe, more than anything, you remember her scent. Mother's scent. Not perfume exactly. Not soap exactly. Not food, not laundry, not skin, not home, but somehow all of them together. The scent that lived in the fold of her sweater, in the scarf she wrapped around her shoulders, in the apron she wore while stirring soup at the stove, in the clean pillowcase she placed under your head, in the towel she used to dry your hair when you came inside from the rain. It was a scent that said, "You are safe." It was a scent that said, "You are home." The memory begins beside a window. You are small again, not in the way a mirror would show you, but in the way your heart remembers being small. Your feet do not reach the floor when you sit on the chair. Your hands are still soft and round. Your whole world is not yet wide and complicated. It is made of rooms, voices, meals, weather, stories, and the quiet certainty that someone is always listening for you. The window is cool beneath your fingertips. Outside, rain runs down the glass in long, crooked lines. Each drop finds its own path, joining another, separating, vanishing at the wooden edge of the frame. Beyond the window, the street is dark and shining. The little stones in the yard glisten. The road has become a mirror. The trees bend slightly under the weight of water, their leaves trembling whenever the wind moves through them. You sit there and watch. There is nothing else to do, and that is part of the beauty. There is no phone glowing in your hand, no endless noise pulling your attention away, no messages waiting, no world demanding that you hurry. There is only rain. There is only the slow breathing of the house, and from the kitchen, there is your mother. You hear her before you see her, the quiet sound of a spoon touching the side of a pot, the small scrape of a chair, the soft closing of a cupboard, water being poured into a kettle, the faint hum of a song she sings without realizing she is singing. It is not a perfect song. It is not performed for anyone. It is just something that rises from her as naturally as warmth rises from bread. You turn your head a little, listening. The house is small, smaller than you remembered when you grew older. But when you were a child, it felt like a whole world. The hallway was a road. The kitchen was a kingdom of steam and warmth. The living room was a safe island where blankets waited, where the old couch held the shape of everyone who had ever rested there. The floor creaks in familiar places. The walls hold the smell of winters, summers, bread, rain, smoke from the stove, clean clothes, and time. Nothing in the house is expensive. The table is old. One leg has been repaired. The chairs do not match perfectly. The curtains have faded where the sun touched them in other seasons. The rug is worn down in the middle from years of footsteps. But love has a way of making simple things shine, and in that house, everything shines quietly. Your mother calls your name, not loudly, just enough that it reaches you like a hand placed gently on your shoulder. "Come away from the window," she says. "You'll catch cold sitting there." You do not move at first. Children are slow to obey when the rain is telling them secrets. The window holds you. The sound of the rain holds you. The little world outside seems mysterious and alive. Water runs in the gutters. A distant dog barks once, then goes quiet. Somewhere a gate moves in the wind. Your mother appears in the doorway. She wipes her hands on her apron. You remember that apron. It was simple, soft from washing, with one front pocket where she kept small things: a cloth, a safety pin, sometimes a wrapped candy, sometimes nothing at all. As a child, you believed a mother's apron could hold anything the world required. She stands there for a moment, looking at you. Her hair is tied back. A few strands have escaped near her face. Her sleeves are rolled up. Her hands are a little red from warm water, from work, from the endless tasks that filled her days. But her eyes are gentle. "Still watching the rain?" she asks. You nod. "It looks like the sky is crying," you say. She smiles softly, not laughing at you, but loving the way you said it. "No," she says. "The sky is washing the world." The words settle into you. Washing the world. You imagine the streets becoming clean, the leaves being rinsed, the rooftops shining, the dust of the day carried away into little rivers along the road. Then she steps closer and places a hand on the back of your neck. Her palm is warm. "You're cold," she says. "I'm not." She disappears for a moment and returns with a sweater. It is old, soft from many washes, and a little too large. She slips it over your shoulders. The fabric smells like clean laundry, warm skin, a wooden cupboard, a little flower, and the faint smoke of the stove. It smells like her. You do not know yet that one day you will search for this scent in winter scarves, in old blankets, in kitchens where soup is boiling, and in the air after rain. You only know that the sweater makes you warmer, and that your mother is near. Earlier that afternoon, you had been outside. The rain had started lightly, only a few drops at first, and you had promised yourself you would not get wet. But children make promises to rain that rain does not keep. First you stepped around the puddles. Then you touched one with your shoe. Then you jumped. Water splashed up your legs, cold and bright, and suddenly it was the funniest thing in the world. You ran through the yard, past the little stones, past the gate, through the place where water gathered in the dirt. Your socks were wet within minutes. Your hair stuck to your forehead. Your sleeves grew heavy, but you were laughing. Childhood trusts that warmth will be waiting when the game is over. Then your mother's voice came from the doorway. "Enough now, come inside." You took one more jump, because childhood always asks for one more. Then you ran home. The doorway glowed with yellow light. The warm air touched your face before you even stepped inside. Your mother stood there holding a towel, shaking her head, trying not to smile. "Look at you," she said, "all rain." She brought you in and closed the door. The sound changed immediately. Outside, rain had been wild and everywhere. Inside, it became soft, distant, comforting. A hush on the roof, a whisper at the window, a steady breathing behind the walls. She knelt in front of you and untied your shoes. One lace was muddy. One sock had slipped down at the heel. She peeled the cold cloth from your feet carefully, as if your little feet were precious things. "Oh, these are freezing," she said. You giggled. She wrapped them in the towel and rubbed them between her hands. Her hands were warm from the kitchen, warm from washing dishes, kneading bread, stirring soup, folding clothes, warm from life. Then she sat in the old chair near the stove and pulled you into her lap. You were wet. You were cold. You were probably too big to be held like that, but she held you anyway. Your cheek rested against her shoulder. Her arms closed around you. The towel covered your feet. The whole house seemed to lean close and protect you. There it was again, Mother's scent, nearer now, in the sweater at her shoulder, in the apron across her lap, in her hair, still carrying the warmth of the kitchen. It was not just a smell, it was a place, a small, invisible home that wrapped around you before you even had words for it. She warmed your feet slowly, one foot, then the other. She rubbed your toes through the towel and said, "Why do you always find the deepest puddle?" "Because it is the best one," you answered. She laughed softly. "The best puddle gives the coldest socks." To you, she was only Mother, the center of the house, the keeper of warmth, the person who could make rain feel safe. After a while, she placed you on the chair near the street. When she returned, she brought you a small bowl of soup and a piece of warm bread. It was simple food, nothing rich, nothing special to the world. But to a wet child on a rainy evening, it tasted like being loved. The first spoonful warmed your throat. The bread softened in your hand. Steam rose between you and the window, and outside the rain continued its soft song. Rainy evenings had their own rhythm in that house. First, the sky darkened. Then your mother looked toward the laundry line, as if the clouds had spoken to her before they spoke to anyone else. She stepped outside with a basket and gathered shirts, towels, and sheets before the rain could soak them. She came back inside carrying the basket against her hip. The clean clothes smelled of outside air and coming rain. Later, When she folded them on the table, the whole room filled with that scent: soap, wind, cotton, and mother. You loved to press your face into the warm pile. "Don't mess them up," she would say. "I'm only smelling them." "Smelling them?" she asked. "They smell like you." For a moment she would grow quiet. Then she would touch your cheek with the back of her fingers and smile in a way you did not understand until many years later. On rainy nights, the house became smaller, but in the best way. The curtains were drawn, shoes were lined near the door, wet coats hung from hooks. The stove carried a slow heat into the room. Somewhere, a clock ticked. Somewhere outside, water dripped from the roof into a metal bucket, making a hollow, gentle sound. Nothing important seemed to happen, and yet everything important was there. You sat at the table and watched your mother work. She sliced bread. She stirred soup. She poured tea. She folded her towel and placed it over the back of a chair so it would be warm if someone needed it. There was always something ready: a dry pair of socks, a blanket near the couch, a spoon beside a bowl, a hand waiting to touch your forehead. At the time, you thought this was normal. Only later do you understand that normal was another name for love, repeated every day. Some evenings the power would go out. The room would fall into blue-gray darkness. For a second, everyone listened. The rain seemed louder without the hum of the house. Then your mother would say, "It's all right, we'll light a candle." She knew where the matches were. She always knew where things were. The flame rose small and golden, and suddenly the kitchen looked like a memory, even while you were still living inside it. Shadows moved on the walls. The window turned black except for the silver rain. Your mother's face glowed in the candlelight. Those were the nights when she told stories. Not big stories, small stories. Stories from when she was young. Stories about walking home in rain with bread tucked under her coat. Stories about her own mother warming her hands. Stories about a neighbor who always left a light on in the window when storms came. You listened with your chin on your knees. It was strange and wonderful to imagine your mother as a child. "Did you also get wet socks?" you asked. She smiled. "Many times." "Did your mother warm your feet?" "Yes," she whispered. She did. And then the room grew quiet, not sad, but full, as if love had traveled a long road through many rainy evenings before reaching you. Bedtime on rainy nights was never hurried. Your mother sent you to wash. She checked your ears. She reminded you to brush your teeth. She helped you into pajamas that had been warmed near the stove. Then came the bed. The room was cooler than the kitchen. The blanket felt heavy and good. The sheets smelled of soap and wooden drawers. Rain tapped on the window like tiny fingers. Your mother sat on the edge of the bed, and the mattress dipped. You loved that dip. It meant she was staying for a little while. She tucked the blanket around your shoulders. No one tucked a blanket like she did. Others could cover you, but she sealed the warmth around you, pressing the edges gently as if making a nest. "Are your feet warm now?" she asked. You wiggled your toes. "Yes." "Hands?" You showed her your hands. She took them anyway and held them between hers. Her palms were warm. They smelled faintly of soap and bread. You wanted to ask her to keep holding them forever, but sleep was already beginning to gather around your eyes. "Tell me one more story," you whispered. You already had one. One very small one. She pretended to sigh, but she stayed. Her small story was about a little bird who could not find its nest because the rain had made every branch shine the same. The bird was cold and tired, but it listened for the sound of its mother's wings. At last, through the rain, you never heard the ending clearly. By then your eyes had closed. Your mother's voice became part of the rain. Her hand moved over your hair, forehead to crown, crown to forehead, the same gentle path again and again. Sleep came softly, and even after she left the room, her scent stayed on the blanket. Years passed, as years do. At first they passed quietly. One rainy evening you fit easily in your mother's lap. Another rainy evening your legs hung over the side. Another, you were too shy to climb there, even though some hidden part of you still wanted to. You learned to tie your own shoes. You learned to avoid the deepest puddles. You learned to say, "I'm not cold," even when you were. Your mother still knew. The way she cared for you changed, but the care itself did not. She no longer removed your wet socks for you, but dry ones appeared on the chair. She no longer pulled you into her lap, but tea appeared in your cup. She no longer dried your hair herself, but a towel was always placed near the door before you came in. Love had become quieter. That did not make it smaller. There was one rainy night when you came home, older, tired, and carrying thoughts you did not want to explain. The kitchen light was still on. That light had always meant someone was waiting. You opened the door carefully, hoping not to make noise. Your coat was wet. Your shoes left dark marks on the floor. Before you could take them off, your mother appeared in the hallway. "Where were you?" she asked. There was worry in her voice, but because you were young, you heard it as control. "I'm here now," you said. She looked at you for a long moment. Rain traced the window behind her. Her face looked tired, not angry. Tired from imagining all the roads you might have taken, all the cold places you might have stood, all the things that could happen to someone she loved. "You should have told me," she said. "I'm not a child." The words came out too sharp. For a second, only the rain spoke. Then she nodded slowly. "No," she said. "You are not." She turned back toward the kitchen. "There is food on the stove." "I'm not hungry." "You should eat." "I said I'm not hungry." She was quiet. Then she covered the pot and said, "Good night." Years later, that memory would return with the rain. Not because it was dramatic, not because anyone shouted, but because you would finally understand what her question had really meant. "Where were you?" meant I was worried. You should have told me meant I could not rest. There is food on the stove meant I love you even when you hurt me. That night, when the house had gone quiet, you returned to the kitchen. The pot was still there. The soup was still warm. Beside it, wrapped in cloth, was bread, and on the chair near the stove sat a dry pair of socks. You stood there for a moment, feeling something in your throat. You ate quietly. Every spoonful tasted like apology. You did not say sorry that night, not aloud. But in the morning, when she asked, "Did you eat?" you nodded. She said, "Good." And that was forgiveness, served warm. Later, when you left home, it rained. Or maybe memory places rain there because it belongs to every leaving. Your bag was near the door. Your mother moved around it, adding things you said you did not need. A towel, extra socks, a sweater, a small packet of tea, food wrapped in cloth. "You don't have to," you told her. "I know," she said. But she did it anyway. A mother cannot always follow, so she sends care in other forms. She sends warmth folded into sweaters. She sends home wrapped in bread. She sends her voice inside warnings you will remember only when you need them. At the door, she adjusted your collar. It did not need adjusting. She touched it simply because she needed one more reason to touch you. "Call when you arrive," she said. "I will." "Eat properly." "I will." "Don't stay in wet clothes." You almost laughed, but you did not. Instead, you leaned down and hugged her, and there it was again. Mother's scent. Older now, softer, mixed with the morning's bread, clean fabric, and the faint rain in her hair. You breathed it in carefully, as if you could carry it with you. Then you stepped outside. The rain touched your face. Behind you, the small house glowed. The world away from home was larger than you expected. It had brighter lights, longer roads, colder rooms, and many kinds of noise. There were beds that were clean but did not comfort you. Meals that filled you but did not feel like care. Windows where rain sounded familiar, yet somehow incomplete. You became busy. You became capable. You learned new streets, new doors, new routines. But sometimes, on rainy nights, you would feel a loneliness that had no clear name. Then one evening, while searching through your bag, you found the sweater your mother had packed. You had almost forgotten it. It was folded at the bottom, patient and quiet. You pulled it out because the room was cold. As the fabric opened, the scent rose faintly. Home. Not strongly, not like before, but enough. Clean laundry, wooden cupboard, warm kitchen. Her hands. You held the sweater near your face, and suddenly the strange room softened. The rain outside became the rain of your childhood. The chair became the old chair by the stove. The window became the window where drops raced each other into the dark. You put the sweater on. It was a little too large, just as it had always been. and for the first time since leaving, you slept deeply. That is the gift of certain memories. They do not bring the past back completely. Nothing can do that. But they bring back the feeling. And sometimes the feeling is enough. Enough to warm a cold room. Enough to soften a hard day. Enough to remind you that you were loved before you knew how to ask for love. Now, tonight, the rain falls again. Maybe you are far from the old house. Maybe the old chair is gone. Maybe the curtains changed. Maybe the road has been repaired and the puddles no longer gather in the same places. Maybe your mother is older now. Maybe her hands move more slowly. Maybe her voice has softened with time. Or maybe she lives mostly in memory, in the quiet room of your heart where the rain can still find her. Wherever she is, the scent remains. It remains in clean blankets, in bread warming in a kitchen, in tea held between cold hands, in laundry folded on a rainy afternoon, in a towel placed near the door, in soup covered on the stove, in the old habit of checking whether the windows are closed. Love does not disappear. It changes form. Sometimes it becomes a memory, sometimes a scent, sometimes a voice you hear inside yourself when the rain begins. So let the rain carry you gently now, back through the years, back to the narrow road, back to the little house with the soft kitchen light, back to the doorway where you once stood dripping wet, smiling with muddy shoes and cold socks, back to the mother who shook her head, opened a towel, and made the whole world kind again. There she is, sitting in the old chair, her apron soft across her lap, her sweater smelling of soap, warmth, and home. She opens her arms, and for a moment, you do not have to be grown. You do not have to explain your tiredness. You do not have to carry tomorrow. You can simply rest. Your feet are warm now. The dry socks are soft. The blanket is tucked around you. The soup has been eaten. The candle is low. The rain is steady. Your mother's hand moves slowly over your hair the way it once did. Forehead to crown, crown to forehead, again and again. The room begins to fade at the edges. The window becomes silver. The roof hums with rain. The old house breathes around you. If your heart feels tender, let it. Tenderness only means the memory mattered. If you miss those days, miss them gently. They are not gone in the way we fear things are gone. They live in the way you close a door softly, in the way you warm your hands around tea, in the way rain makes you quiet, in the way you remember that the smallest acts of love were never small. A towel, a bowl of soup, a dry sock, a warm lap, a light left on. These were the treasures. These were the golden things. The rain keeps falling, slowly now, softly now. The story does not need to hurry anymore. It has brought you home. You are lying beneath a heavy blanket. The room is dim. The air smells of clean cotton and warm bread. Somewhere nearby, your mother is humming that almost song. the one with no beginning and no ending. You breathe in, and there it is, mother's scent, safe, warm, kind, home. Let your shoulders loosen, let your hands rest, let your thoughts become small and quiet, like raindrops sliding down a dark window. Nothing is needed from you now. The day is finished. The door is closed. The house is warm. The rain is outside. Love is inside. And before sleep takes you fully, remember this one gentle truth. Once you were a child with wet socks. Once the world was cold and rainy. Once a mother gathered you into her lap, warmed your feet with her hands, wrapped you in the scent of home, and made everything all right. That love is still somewhere inside you. A small light, a warm kitchen, a blanket that never completely loses its warmth. Sleep now. The rain will stay with you. Mother's scent will stay with you. Home will stay with you. Softly, quietly, all through the night. The rain falls. The old house glows. The blanket grows heavy, and you drift gently, 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 back into warmth, back into memory, back into sleep.